Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Narito po ako ngayon para i-discuss ang ilang Republic Acts for Fisheries. Ito po yung number 1 Republic Act number 7586, Republic Act number 10654, Republic Act number 11398, Republic Act number 8435, and Republic Act number 8550. The first Republic Act number 7586 is an act providing for the establishment and management of National Integrated Protected Areas System, defining its scope and coverage and for other purposes, also known as the NIPAS Act 1992 or the National Integrated Protected Areas System Act. This system is abbreviated NIPAS shall encompass outstandingly remarkable areas and biologically important public lands that are habitats of rare and endangered species of plants and animals, biographic zones, and related ecosystems, whether terrestrial, wetland, or marine. NIPAS means the classification and administration of all such protected areas to maintain biodiversity, ensure sustainable use of their resources, etc. NIPAS is the classification and administration of all designated protected areas to maintain essential ecological processes and life support systems, to preserve genetic biodiversity, to ensure sustainable use of resources found therein, to maintain their natural condition to the greatest extent possible. Example and categories and definition of terms. National parks refers to the forest reservation essentially of natural wilderness character which have been withdrawn from settlement. Example of this, Palawan Underground, Mount Arayat, Caramoan, MacArthur Landing. Second is the strict nature reserve, is an area processing some outstanding ecosystem features and or species of flora and fauna, national scientific importance maintained to protect nature and maintain processes. Example, the Olango in Cebu and Kalawit Safari Park in Palawan. And the next are the natural park. Is relatively large area not materially altered by human activity. Example of this, Mount Apo, Mayon Volcano, Apo Reef, Lake Balinsasayao. And Wildlife Sanctuary comprises an area which assure the national conditions necessary to protect nationally significant species. Examples, Mount Hamigitan Range, Rasa Island in Palawan, Turtle Island in Tawi-Tawi. The prohibited acts, damaging and leaving roads and trails in damaged condition, squatting, mineral locating, or otherwise occupying any land, constructing or maintaining any kind of structure, fence or enclosure, conducting any business enterprise without a permit, living in exposed or unsanitary conditions, refuse or debris, or depositing in ground or in bodies of water, and last, altering, removing, destroying, or defacing boundary, marks, or sign. The penalties, fine of not less than 5,000 or more than 500,000 exclusive of value of damage, or imprisonment for not less than 1 year, but not more than 6 years, or both, is determined by the court, provided that if the area requires rehabilitation or restoration as determined by the court, the offender shall also be required to restore or compensate for the restoration to the damage, provided further that the court shall order the eviction of the offender from the land and the forfeiture in favor of the government of all minerals, devices, timber, or any species collected or removed, including all equipment, devices, and firearms used in connection therewith, and any construction of improvement made thereon by the offender. And the next, Republic Act number 10654, an act to prevent, deter, and eliminate illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, amending Republic Act number 8550, otherwise known as the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998, and for other purposes. RA 10654, Consolidation of Senate Bill number 2414 and House Bill number 4536, passed on December 1, 2014 and lapsed into law on February 27, 2015. The declaration of the policy: ensure the rational and sustainable development, management, and conservation, pursue commitment to international convention and cooperation with other states and international bodies, adopt the precautionary principles, ecosystem-based approach to fisheries management, and integrated coastal area management. All Philippine flag fishing vessels operating in areas governed by a regional fisheries management organization or the RFMO in the high seas or waters of other coastal states. This Republic Act amends the Philippine Fisheries Code of 1998, Republic Act 8550, and aims to deter and eliminate illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Amendments deal with several aspects of the above-mentioned code, specifying new management and conservation measures to conserve and manage living marine resources, fisheries, and aquaculture in the Philippines, and the reconstitution or establishment of fisheries institutions both at the local and national level. The text consists of 142 sections, which are divided into 10 chapters, and amendment as follows: access to fishery resources. For the prohibition and penalties. In Section 86, unauthorized fishing. To capture or gather, to cause the capture or gather fishing or gathering of fish, fry, or fingerlings of any fishery agencies or fishery species or fishery products without license or permit from the DA or LGU. Except in cases specified under the Code, it shall be also unlawful for any commercial fishing vessel to fish in municipal waters. Also provided the fishing for daily food, sustenance, or for leisure, which not for commercial occupation of livelihood purposes may be allowed. For the penalties of this Act 10654, 50,000 pesos to 100,000 pesos for small-scale commercial fishing, 150,000 pesos to 500,000 pesos for the medium-scale commercial fishing, and 1 million pesos to 5 million pesos for large-scale commercial fishing. For the Section 87, include the engaging in unauthorized fisheries activities. It shall be unlawful for any person to exploit, occupy, produce, breed or culture fish, fry or fingerlings of any fishery species or fishery products, or construct and operate fish corrals, fish traps, fish pens, and fish cages or fish ponds without a license, lease, or permit. And also they are called distant water fishing. It means fishing in the high seas or in waters of other states. And for the RA Republic Act number 11398, an act regulating the practice of the fisheries profession in the Philippines, creating for the purpose a professional regulatory board of fisheries and appropriating funds therefore. For this act, under the new law, the Professional Regulatory Board of Fisheries will be under the control of the Professional Regulation Commission or the PRC. The board will be composed a chairperson and 4 members. The law said the board should promulgate, adopt, and issue rules and regulations to carry out provisions the new law. The board added was also tasked to administer and supervise the license examinations for admission to the practice of fisheries professions. The board will also have the right to issue certificate of registration to successful examinees in the licensure examination for the fisheries professional, and has also the power to suspend or revoke the certification. Admission to the fisheries profession will require passing the licensure exam administered every year according to RA 11398. Candidate must obtain at least 75% general average with no grade lower than 60% in any subject to obtain a license. The new prohibits the unauthorized practice of the fisheries profession without a license and will punish violators with fine of not less than 50,000 but not more than 500,000, or imprisonment of not less than 6 months or both upon the discretion of the court. And for the RA 8535, Republic Act number 8535 in December 22, 1997, an act prescribing urgent related measures to modernize the agriculture and fisheries sector of the country in order to enhance their profitability and prepare said sector for the challenges of the globalization through an adequate, focused, and rational delivery of necessary support services and appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. The RA 8534, or the Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act of AFMA, or AFMA of 1997, goals of the national economy of this RA 8435, more equitable distribution of opportunities, income, and wealth, sustainable increase in the amount of goods and service produced by the nation or the benefit of the people. And expanding productivity is the key to raising the quality of life for all, especially the underprivileged, and promote industrialization and full employment based on sound agriculture development, agrarian reform, through industries that make full and efficient use of human and natural resources, and which are competitive in both domestic and foreign markets. The major concern of agriculture and fisheries modernization plan: first, food security; second, poverty alleviation and social equity; third, income enhancement and profitability for farmers and fisher folks, global competitiveness, and last, sustainability. And last, for the Republic Act number 8550 in February 25, 1998, an act providing for the development, management, and conservation of the fisheries and aquatic resources, integrating all laws pertinent thereto and for other purposes. RA 8550, or the Fisheries Code of 1998. The objectives of RA 8550: first, conservation, protection, and sustained management of the country, fishery and aquatic resources. Second, poverty alleviation and the provision of supplementary livelihood among municipal fisher folk. Third, improvement and productivity of aquaculture within ecological limits. Fourth, optimal utilization of shore and deep sea resources, and the last, upgrading of post-harvest technology. The application of provision. All Philippine water, including other waters over which the Philippines has sovereignty, jurisdiction, and the country's 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, or the EEZ, and continental, all aquatic and fishery resources, whether inland, coastal, or offshore. Fishing areas including but not limited to fish pond, fish pens, or cascades. All lands devoted to aquaculture or business and activities relating to fishery, whether private or public land. That's all. Thank you.